Emily Carter was 29 years old when she married Daniel Thompson. Daniel was kind, successful, and came from a respected family in Chicago. Their wedding was beautiful. Friends and family filled the hall with laughter and joy. Emily looked at Daniel and thought her future would be full of happiness. But only a few weeks after the wedding, things began to change. Daniel's mother, Margaret Thompson, was a controlling woman. Tried her best to respect her mother-in-law. One evening, Margaret came to their apartment. She looked around the living room and frowned. "This apartment belongs to our family," she said coldly. Emily was surprised. "What do you mean?" she asked. Margaret crossed her arms. "It was purchased years ago by Daniel's grandfather. Since you're living here, you should contribute more." Emily nodded politely. "I already help with expenses." Margaret smiled sarcastically. Not enough. From that day forward, Margaret constantly criticized Emily. Nothing Emily did was ever good enough. If dinner was late, Margaret complained. If the house was clean, Margaret found another problem. Daniel always remained silent. Emily hoped things would improve. Instead, they became worse. 1 month later, Margaret arrived with several documents. She sat at the dining table. "You need to sign these papers." Emily looked confused. "What papers?" "Their family agreements." Emily carefully read them. Her heart nearly stopped. The documents would give control of most marital assets to Daniel's family. Emily pushed them back. "I'm not signing this." Margaret's expression darkened. "You don't trust this family?" "I trust myself enough to read what I'm signing." Margaret stood up angrily. "You've changed, my son." That night, Daniel came home. Margaret had already called him. Instead of defending Emily, he asked, "Why couldn't you just sign them?" Emily stared at him. "Because they are unfair." Daniel sighed. "It's just paperwork." "No, Daniel, it's my future." For the first time, Emily realized her husband wasn't standing beside her. He was standing beside his mother. Weeks passed. Arguments became common. Margaret continued interfering in every part of their marriage. One afternoon, Emily overheard a conversation she was never supposed to hear. Margaret was speaking on the phone. "If she refuses to cooperate, we'll make her leave." Emily froze. Make her leave? What did that mean? The next morning, she quietly began gathering information. She reviewed property records, bank documents, financial statements. The more she discovered, the more shocked she became. The apartment where she and Daniel lived was not actually owned by the Thompson family. The property legally belonged to Emily. Years earlier, she had inherited it from her late aunt. Before the wedding, Daniel had offered to help manage paperwork. Emily trusted him.